This topic went back and forth. It looks like, from what I can see on social media, it's like split right down the middle for who was right and who was wrong. Everybody's got a personal opinion about that. Stephen A. Smith's saga, and I'll call it a saga with LeBron, because LeBron actually, he's a good dude. I think Stephen A. Smith's a good dude. I've never met either one of them, but I could just tell from afar, from watching them on TV and the things that I've seen from both of them, they're pretty good guys. Has Stephen A. made up yet for that, or has LeBron called him to kind of meet halfway on what happened on the court that night of a Lakers game when LeBron approached Stephen A. and had words with him and for him regarding his son Bronny? Najee, what do you think Stephen A. had to do? Because I thought Stephen A. took the high road. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. High road. He was very professional. He was very classy when it came to how he broke it down to what was said to him and what he explained to the public. What do you think about that now?
Of course, he had to take the high road because ESPN, they kind of, I want to say, they kind of really, really cherish LeBron. So any type of statistical milestone he hits, they always advertising thing. Now what Stephen A. just got, he just got this big new contract for ESPN, right? So the last thing he needs to do is compromise that in any type of way, because they know that's their so why would they do that? See, he already said himself that he was not going to even speak on the subject, but since it went so viral within freaking hours, he had to say something. His own boss said, you had to say something, right? Like, he came up to you, like, there wasn't a timeout at that time. He walked over the bench to go right to in that man's face to say what he had to say. So of course he has to, and then of course he's on ESPN live. So guess what he has to remain professional and say everything that's right. And then I'm not gonna say sugarcoated, but he can't go raw onto exactly what was said to him, because of course there was profanity, and you can read LeBron's lips as he's cursing at him.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Isaiah?
I got mixed emotions about it, because I know how some of these geniuses are when it comes to boosting ratings. And that right there was a rating booster if you ever want to see one, because the timing of it was superb, man. For him to do it courtside, Stephen A. is right in the front. LeBron walks by. He already really do probably have a riff with him, and to have an opportunity to walk right past him and get right in his face and say what he needed to say. So now, LeBron said what he said. Just to watch the clipping of it, he didn't get loud or anything. He did it like man to man, talking in his face, and then walked back. And Stephen A. politely sat down and probably said, "Wow, man, this guy just almost at me in front of everybody," because it was only a few people that was close by to kind of hear what they were saying. But then, just the gesture of it, it made it explode, man, where it was everywhere. Everybody chimed in on it. So it left Stephen A. no choice not to look like a sucker, so he had to say something. And when he said something the first time, he tried to say, okay, the man was just acting as if he's a father, because a father going to protect his son, his family, his wife, his kids, and the whole nine. So he took that type of, road first. But then when people who got right, LeBron said, no, I wouldn't let him do that, man. I would have to say this. So then, now Stephen A. come back a little harshly. Like, he was like, you're not doing it on here. You know your soul isn't that good. You don't want soul this stuff. So, dude, he just did what is good for TV at that point. And now it just blew up out of the stratosphere. So everybody's talking about it. We're talking about it. Now, LeBron came back to address some other stuff that Stephen A. has said. So it'll go on for another week or so. So the ratings, they got what they wanted out of it. LeBron still ain't that play. So wherever you got smart people who's digging for ratings, they put stuff like this. Everybody could be actually in on it, because they got what they wanted. All of that comes with a financial gain in ratings, man. You
for sure.
Dictate lies and where it stems from. From all this money is the corporate of it all.
Money talk.
Yep.
Money talk. Corporate money and all of that money behind the scenes, and people who like conflict, because we live in a very conflict-filled society of people now. I mean, the whole world is like that. It's just not the United States that's conflict-filled. I mean, when I speak to people sometimes here in LA on the streets, you should just see some of the expressions. They be like, he actually spoke to me. You know, I'll say hello if somebody's approaching, you know, and a lot of times what people will do, I've noticed that they'll look down at their phone, or they'll try to look away because they don't want to make eye contact with you, because I'm assuming that most people don't want to even have to say nothing to you, right?
Yeah.
So we live in a very conflict-oriented world where, as long as people are going after each other, that is the thought of the day. That's the talk of the day. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way of the world today. It wasn't like that when I was growing up, but it's like that now. Because when I was growing up, everybody on the street knew each other. Everybody's parents knew each other. Grandparents knew each other. And there was a respect that you just don't see now. You just don't see it at all. And that's very important. Since you mentioned Stephen A., he just signed a $100 million contract for 5 years with ESPN, which is just like off the stratosphere.
He's making athlete money.
Sport analysts and sports stars, you know, people who report sports in the news. The brother is blessed. That's all I'm going to say. Stephen A. is a blessed man. I'm very happy he was able to secure financial security for the rest of his natural born life, along with his family, because they shouldn't have to worry about anything now, period. With $100 million up under you, and if you manage even a quarter of that money properly, you ain't never gonna be broke no more. Never. Am I right, Isaiah?
You're right. Absolutely right. Yeah. And that's just on top of what you already have. So, man, blessings to him. Shoot. Blessings to him, man, because he put the work in. The man been an analyst and a writer and all this whole nine, and to get this to this point,
He come up through the ranks.
It ain't nobody giving him nothing. He put the work in. Because when you think about it,
you gotta respect him because he came bottom up. A lot of people might not like Stephen A. Smith because some people say he's loud, some people say he's arrogant, some people say he's brash.
Some people like me say he need to stay his rear end out of politics. That's what he need to do. But he's analyst-wise, he's on point. But when he get in that political thing, he need to shut his big old fat lips up. That's what they need to do.
That's a whole different stratosphere right there, politics. So that's something that we not going to discuss, period.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's the only thing where you get a zero in. You know, he can put all them zeros behind it as a sport analyst, but when it comes to politics, he's not polished. And he need to stay behind in his lane when it comes to that.
Yeah, I hear you. And there's many others are just like Stephen A. We just don't see them every day. We don't hear them every day, but it's a handful of people out there that they feel like that can catapult them to something bigger, better, or more financially stable.
They just show them what they think about him as an analyst. They just propped him up. When they give you that kind of money, that means they satisfied with you. But what I'm saying, you've done as much as you can in the sports world, and you know what you're talking about in that. Now you done drifted off to something where you pushing people in your type of belief that shouldn't be there, or something that you heard, or something that these other folks agree with, and now you're going to push it on somebody else who don't even understand what's going on, and you're going to lure them into the things that you're saying, and it's not the right thing for them. That's my thing, what I'm saying when it comes to politics. But she's got it made. Sports, she does have it made. Yeah.
Very well stated. I'll leave it at that.